Even now at the professional level, I'm like, how do people not know like where to move? Like it blows my mind still. I always think about like how Coach Bluder like ran practices and
the Indiana Fever season is collapsing, and now we know why. Behind the scenes, Caitlin Clark has been screaming for help, and her explosive interview with Sue Bird has finally given us the smoking gun we've all been waiting for.
Even now at the professional level, I'm like, how do people not know like where to move? Like it blows my mind still.
This isn't just another struggling team. This is a generational talent being systematically destroyed by a coaching philosophy that refuses to let her be great.
This is a coach who clearly does not want Caitlin Clark to be Caitlin Clark.
What Clark revealed about her former Iowa coach Lisa Bluder versus her current situation with Stephanie White exposes a devastating truth that Fever management can no longer ignore.
Makes me like really appreciative of like what Coach Bluder was able to do when we were at Iowa. Like she was so smart. She was able to like construct a team and make sure everyone always knew what they were going to do, whether you were the smartest basketball player on the team or you weren't. Like you were always on the same page with your teammates.
Clark laid it all out there, describing how Bluder was so intentional about making sure everyone was on the same page and knew what they were doing and knew their role in a way.
Like when I talk to people about it, I like joke like she brainwashed people, not like actually, but like
no,
you
part
like
of it is a
were
little
like
bit of
brainwashed into like okay, if you drive here, like you're going here and you're going here, and like
the frustration in Clark's voice is unmistakable, and basketball insiders are sounding the alarm.
That New York game where like I played really, really well, obviously scored a lot of points. I think I had 9 assists or 10 assists that game. This last game this year. I started the fourth quarter off with like 3 turnovers in a row or 2 turnovers in a row, and Steph yanked me.
That is the coach's fault. I don't give a damn. It is the coach's fault.
This is a player who went from a meticulously crafted system at Iowa, where she became the all-time NCAA scoring leader, to a professional environment where teammates don't even know basic positioning. It's not just disappointing, it's basketball malpractice.
Yo, Stephanie White, you really blew this, man. Caitlin Clark was supposed to be playing that Lisa Bluder style, man. You really blew it.
It's not just disappointing, it's basketball malpractice. Clark isn't just missing her college days, she's openly questioning the competence of everyone around her in the WNBA.
How do people not know like where to move? Like it blows my mind still.
When the face of your franchise starts publicly wondering how professional athletes don't understand fundamental basketball concepts, you've got a crisis on your hands.
This motion offense is not a good system. Caitlin Clark likes the ball in her hand. She's more of a read and react type player.
Here's where the basketball community is drawing the line in the sand. When everyone is calling out your offensive system as fundamentally incompatible with your superstar player, you're not just dealing with style differences, you're witnessing organizational malpractice.
There was a play where I kind of got a steal and like we're going in transition and Kelsey Mitchell just like takes off down the middle of the floor. And so there's like 2 people kind of by her. And I literally like go to grab the ball and then I like just dribble out. And I like literally just start smiling so big. And I look at Steph and I like told her after the game.
That better be on film.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't understand how hard it was for me to not throw that.
The motion offense that White insists on running contradicts everything that made Clark the most dominant player in college basketball history. This isn't coaching. This is stubborn pride destroying generational talent.
I don't know what she's proud of. I don't know what there is that there is to be proud of.
The contrast couldn't be more stark. And Clark's words carry the weight of someone who has experienced basketball excellence and is now trapped in basketball purgatory.
I'm very fortunate looking back and like now going to like watch other colleges' practices and things like that. Like she really like was so intentional about like making sure everyone was on the same page and like knew what they were doing and knew their role.
At Iowa, Lisa Bluder created a basketball machine where every component understood its function perfectly. Clark thrived in that environment because she knew that when she made a pass, her teammate would be exactly where they needed to be. Now, in Indianapolis, she's operating in basketball chaos while analysts worldwide are documenting every misstep in real time.
Even now at the professional level, I'm like, how do people not know like where to move? Like it blows my mind still.
What Clark revealed next should terrify every Fever fan watching this disaster unfold. The depth of her frustration with the current system isn't just about missing a few plays. It's about watching professional athletes operate without the most basic understanding of team basketball. When a player of Clark's caliber starts questioning whether her teammates belong on the same court, you're witnessing the complete breakdown of organizational competence. The Iowa system didn't just work, it was a masterclass in precision that spoiled Clark for anything less than perfection. Now she's trapped in basketball purgatory, watching million-dollar athletes stumble through concepts that high school players master.
It's just been so challenging, like being active and playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process and just like trying to trust that the best I can.
This is a broken player speaking, not physically, but mentally and emotionally shattered by a system that has failed her at every level. Clark poured her heart into the offseason, believing that hard work and dedication would translate into team success. Instead, she's been relegated to an endless cycle of rehabilitation and disappointment while watching her prime years slip away. The frustration isn't just about her own performance. It's about being trapped in an organization that can't maximize the talent of a generational superstar. When your franchise player is reduced to hoping she can just stay healthy long enough to make a difference, you've already lost the war.
I mean, like I've had those games before, and I'm going to have another 8 turnover game in my career. Like that's just how I played. And like,
here's the devastating truth that Stephanie White refuses to acknowledge. Clark's so-called weaknesses are actually her greatest strengths, being suppressed by a coaching staff that doesn't understand what they have. When Clark admits she's going to have turnover games because that's just how I play, she's not making excuses. She's explaining the price of brilliance. Every great playmaker in basketball history has lived with this reality, from Magic Johnson to LeBron James. But instead of building a system that maximizes her risk-taking while minimizing the consequences, the Fever have created an environment where Clark feels the need to apologize for being who she is. This isn't coaching. This is systematic talent destruction.
but I didn't want to go to LA. But I wanted Indiana to get the first pick.
So them getting the first pick, I feel like you would have left college regardless, but this was like,
I probably
okay, now
would
I'm going
have,
for sure.
but at the time, I was definitely still up in the air, like
So it
early in
influenced you a
my
little bit.
senior year.
Okay.
The ultimate irony in this disaster is that Clark specifically chose Indiana over the glitz and glamour of Los Angeles because she believed in the Fever's potential. She rejected a $235 million franchise in the Lakers market because she thought Indiana was the right fit for her basketball vision. That decision is looking more catastrophic by the day. Clark bet her entire career on an organization that has proven incapable of building around her strengths, and now she's watching that gamble destroy everything she worked for in college. The evidence is mounting, and it's coming from every corner of the basketball world. What we're witnessing isn't just poor coaching, it's the systematic dismantling of a generational talent by a coach who fundamentally doesn't understand what she has. Multiple analysts, former players, and basketball insiders are all saying the same thing. Stephanie White is destroying Caitlin Clark's career in real time. The most damning part? Clark knows it, her supporters see it, and yet the Fever organization continues to pretend everything is fine, while their franchise player withers away under a system designed to limit her greatness.
She starts smiling when she makes an actual dumb play. Like, that's actually a dumb play to make. I'm sorry, like, we played the percentages. What is the likelihood that Caitlin Clark makes an assist to Kelsey Mitchell on that break? 85%. 85%. And the difference is, do you want to know what the difference is? Is that Caitlin gets a steal, dribbles in, hits Kelsey Mitchell, the crowd gets hyped. Is a crowd going to get hyped when you start dribbling the ball to the halfway line?
Here's what basketball purists understand that Stephanie White clearly doesn't. Clark's aggressive style isn't a bug, it's the feature. When analysts are breaking down film and showing 85% success rates on passes that White is coaching out of Clark's game, you're watching criminal mismanagement of talent. The coach is literally training the excitement out of the most exciting player in women's basketball history. White wants Clark to play it safe, to manage the clock, to be conservative. She's trying to turn a Ferrari into a minivan, and the results are predictably disastrous.
Caitlin Clark's a player that plays off instinct. Like, Caitlin is a player who plays off instinct. Caitlin's a player who goes on runs. The problem is that if Caitlin starts overthinking, she doesn't go on the runs.
This is the smoking gun that proves White doesn't understand her own superstar. Clark's greatest moments, the logo threes, the impossible assists, the game-changing sequences, all happen when she plays on pure instinct. But White's system forces her to overthink, to second guess, to play within constraints that contradict everything that made her special. When your coaching philosophy is actively preventing your best player from entering the zone that made her legendary, you're not coaching, you're sabotaging. The analyst here gets it. Clark's brilliance comes from that blur state, that flow where basketball becomes art. White is systematically destroying that.
She left Sophie Cunningham out on the floor last night. Sophie was the only player that bothered to show up. Lexi Hull, MIA. 2 points. I mean, what's going on here? And I'm sorry, but if Stephanie White's supposed to be this all-world coach, you're not going to show up to a game against the Phoenix Mercury with DeWanna Bonner playing on the other side after what she did to the Indiana Fever franchise?
The Phoenix Mercury game exposed everything wrong with White's leadership. This was supposed to be a statement game. Sophie Cunningham returning to her former team, DeWanna Bonner facing the franchise she abandoned. A perfect setup for motivation and energy. Instead, the Fever showed up lifeless, unmotivated, and got blown out by 35 points. When your team has no fire, no edge, no competitive spirit in games that should right themselves, that's a coaching failure of the highest order. White couldn't even get her players motivated for a revenge game, which tells you everything about her ability to connect with this roster and understand what drives competitive athletes.